Hey, so I've been interested in role-playing games for a long time now, but I've never gotten the chance to play. I've always seen myself as more of a game master than fit for the player character role. I was waiting to graduate college before finally running my own game when global pandemic happened. Yikes. So I could have gone the Roll20 route and ran a D&D game online, but I'm also interested in like LARP and puzzle elements and ARGs, unfiction sort of stuff. So that got me thinking, is there a way to combine the mechanics light of LARP, online text-based role-playing, and the interactivity of ARGs into one game? So I started brainstorming, which involved a lot of me staring at the ceiling and not sleeping for hours. I wanted to create a game that involved my players' cleverness to reach the outcome, not stats on a sheet. I wanted to make something that could be conducive to inter-character roleplay between them, as well as between me as the game master. And I wanted to create a game that could be played out in multiple mediums, like a website I've made, a chat dialogue, or even a little bit in real life. I decided the best way to achieve this would be a mystery story where the goal of the campaign is to solve a crime in character. Because this was my first game like this, or the first game like this that I know about, I knew the scale had to be small. As for a good small-scale mystery, I took a lot of inspiration from the Netflix original series American Vandal. A small-town vandalism is a really good way to have a story with stakes for the characters, but doesn't require me as the game master to write an entire government conspiracy theory. Once I've decided my overall plot and setting, I wanted to get a feel for what the player characters would be interested in playing. I wanted the characters in this story to represent like John Hughes 80s movie high school stereotypes, because I wanted to give the players a chance to either play into those stereotypes or break them depending on what they wanted to achieve. I reached out to my friends with a general survey to gauge what kind of characters they'd be interested in playing, what they're expecting out of the game, and other administrative things like how much time they think they'd be able to commit to the game and if I could record it. From there, I assigned characters and wrote a more detailed setting primer attached to a questionnaire for everyone to help flesh out their character. Our characters are the princess, the stoner, the nice girl, the jock, and the criminal. At this point, I had a more clear idea of the type of story we were going to tell. Northride, a prestigious high school full of many extraordinary kids full of secrets and gossip, where getting on top is the clear goal of many. Reputation is very important here, and our heroes, well, they've been blamed for an extremely high-profile vandalism. The wooden statue of the school's mascot, the Knights, has been beheaded right before summer vacation. Our students were on campus that night, and the school is suspending them pending an investigation, but the players need to find out now who's really done it if they want to remain relevant in their social circles. On this questionnaire, my players helped write NPCs for their story, collaborated on relationships with the other players, and wrote their own motivations and backstories for ending up at Northride. Over a couple of days, I synthesized all of this information by fleshing out these characters and their major role in the story. What are their motivations? Who are their friends? Who do they like? Then I figured out how my story was going to end by finally deciding my mastermind. Using a mind mapping app really helped for this. I think it's called Mindly. It was helping me decide who my central character was as the goal, and then I could create a web around them to connect every single NPC to the center so that everyone would be relevant. The idea was by chatting with these characters in a text app, by solving puzzles and acquiring information through IRL means, they could slowly make their way to finding out the truth in the middle through these various paths and sources. Using all of this information from my mind mapping and my NPC characters, I created a character sheet for my players by describing their various friends, acquaintances, and enemies, using their individual opinions and experiences to inform their relationships or their opinions on people or their history with people, etc. They also each received a couple of phone numbers from each of their classmates to start them off, as well as basic information for the crime itself. I wish I didn't have to create a rigid story right from the outset, as some of the more entertaining parts of tabletop role-playing games and ARGs are that the story can change with the player's input. But the truth is, I really had some real-world clue finding and puzzles planned, and my sister was flying back to California where most of my players are, and if I wanted free space on her luggage, I needed it done in advance. Shortly after the sheets were delivered, we had our first in-character video call.
I'll preface this by saying it wasn't me.
I think we're probably all in agreement that it wasn't any of us, right?
I don't know why we would agree to that.
Are you saying you do think it's one of us?
I mean, we were all there.
It's probably someone.
I know I didn't do it, and the whole reason we're having this call in the first place is to try and clear our names. So either someone is already lying to us, or...
Well then, if someone on this video did it, they should just tell us now so the rest of us don't get in trouble.
Obviously.
It seems like a good call. Any takers?
Anyone want to admit to defacing Horsey?
I was hoping this would be easy.
The beginning was a little awkward. Our characters didn't know each other and were obviously feeling the tension of distrust and discomfort with each other.
Anyone else want to say what they were doing on campus?
Yeah, anyone else want to say what they were doing on campus, Claire?
Why are you being so rude?
Oh, I don't know. You said someone might have seen them while they were walking by.
Yeah, I didn't see any other students on campus. All I saw was the principal. He wanted to congratulate my dad. He had a message for me. We just opened up a new hotel.
That's really great. I'm so happy for your dad.
Thanks.
Yeah. Wait, Shiloh, what were you doing on campus again?
Oh, I was, no, this is going to sound worse than it is. But I broke into the English class and I stacked all the desks on top of each other.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
I thought it was pretty funny. Fuck that chick.
Okay.
Around the time the introductions were winding down, I dropped my first big reveal of the campaign.
Oh yeah, who runs that blog anyway?
I don't know who runs it, but I'm on it right now and I can see who's posting on it.
My player received a real voicemail from her character's friend describing weird posts that were showing up on the school blog, followed by a link to the real school blog. My friend, who occasionally does voice acting, did a killer last-minute job for me on this voicemail, and I spent quite a few days creating like 40 blog posts for my characters to pour through using the Wix website builder. Imagine if this was an ad. Imagine if I could do an ad read for Squarespace or some shit right here. It would be perfect. This incited several minutes of complete silence as the players quietly absorbed this bomb of information until finally...
Hey, anyone else see the coordinates in this post?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. And the weird capitalized words. Or
Oh
letters.
shit.
Yeah, there's capitalized letters in some of them.
I'm gonna figure out where this is.
The first lead. The next days were a complete frenzy of following through on various puzzle leads hidden about this hacked blog. I made a loose branching path of puzzles leading to secret messages hidden on the site using Google Maps coordinates.
Okay, if...
Antarctica.
What?
Wow.
That can't be right.
Password protected pages, hidden buttons, and audio files. My favorite moment of the campaign was while they were solving an anagram that said greetings, and I just...
Yeah, I mean...
Wait,
don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
Hold on. Wait,
What's up?
nest eggs.
What about them?
Yeah, because there's another E on there.
That's what it spells. Uses all the letters.
Nest
Yeah.
eggs?
Oh wait, no, there's no R.
The confidence with which she said that just it haunts my nightmares. There was even a link to a digital jigsaw puzzle that was mostly white, and there was not a reference picture given. That was easily the biggest time sink for my players, which is not even saying a lot because 3 of my 5 players ripped through all of my puzzles in one weekend before the other 2 got back from an impromptu camping trip, subsequently missing the entire puzzle portion of the campaign. But it turns out okay because shortly after this the players discover that the hacking was only a ruse and that a student, Paxton, is very good at computers and was bribed by the true mastermind to distract and delay the party.
Are we sure those letters and coordinates isn't just somebody trolling us?
Man, that would suck. I felt like a spy for a second there.
Bummer. But now Paxton is indebted to them and they have a new goal.
I'll ask about the ladder.
Yeah, that would be really helpful.
I'm waiting to see if Kira's heard anything.
Yeah, and I'll look through photos or whatever.
The players regroup and start asking around to find conflicting alibis, low-key gossip, and even accidentally spreading some gossip of their own.
What did the notes say about B?
That she was making out with Quentin.
Oh, right. What a mess.
Yeah. Because now Quentin has 3 secret girlfriends.
3 secret. Oh, god damn it.
To achieve this, we used the app MRPG. I love this app because I was able to create multiple NPCs to send messages to make it feel like the players were texting multiple people at once. But I didn't actually need to control like 15 phone numbers to achieve this. It has features where you can talk in character and out of character. You can set pinned messages in the chat. There's so much other stuff. I would recommend using this for actual D&D if you have like an online party. There's so many other cool features I didn't even get to take advantage of, like setting dice macros and just other, it's really cool. Just check it out. At the height of this, I'm controlling chat logs with 15 NPCs, oftentimes talking to multiple PCs at once.
Maybe tell him that you like running too. That might help.
I don't like running.
But tell him you do.
Oh, okay.
They used their wits to convince friends to infiltrate some parties, get some evidence, IRL, in a little scavenger hunt.
Whatever, there'll be other parties, like our pizza party. Still not willing to pay Enzo. Still want the pizza. Dedicated to it.
Maybe, or
You trying to eat $100 of pizza?
It's exactly what I'm trying to do.
And eventually they're put on the trail of a particularly suspicious classmate, Enzo.
He just takes Latin classes and fucking spies on people.
Taking advantage of an NPC's crush on the stoner, the players gain access to a lot of coded blackmail and juicy secrets about the other students that Enzo keeps in his creepy stash.
I think one of the first things that I probably was really confused about was why did Darry pay money for dirt on Lauren?
I'm not sure.
Because on the spreadsheet, Emily, if you have that pulled up already.
yeah, I do.
My criminal character knew how to pick locks as a hobby, so I decided to actually test that by locking a box with a real padlock, and he literally got it in like 15 seconds. Should I be concerned? Or... The story progresses as the characters use what they know to discover the murder weapon, so to speak. Who was blackmailed to actually commit the deed, and who had motivation to do such a thing in the first place?
Who bought frickin' B bought dirt on Eli, right? So
Yes.
if B wanted to destroy the statue, she could use Eli by using the dirt,
To blackmail him,
blackmail him into
it all
doing
comes around.
That would make sense.
At this point, despite my players having all the pieces to the puzzle, it still took quite a few days to actually reach the end of the story.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What if B is doing all this shit because she's pissed at Quentin because of the whole Lodi thing? Like if Quentin's with a Lodi and B and him hooked up that one time, maybe she's just like jealous. I don't know.
I think the momentum sort of stalled out here. Whether my players lost focus or the character got cold feet about actually approaching the suspect.
Are you going to threaten her? No?
Why would I do that?
Straight for it.
I mean, like, why wouldn't you do that? What do you have to lose at this point?
Threatening people is not exactly who I am.
It's not who any of we are. Like, we don't want to be texting our friends to steal shit and threaten them and be like, yo, I got dirt on you. Who hates you? Like, but it's either we do this or get kicked out of school. So
I stepped in a couple of times for hints and subtle suggestions for us to finally close out the story together. Having finally discovered the culprit and solved the crime, I got my players back together to have an epilogue and feedback session to see what they thought. And the response was really positive. I was happy to hear that chatting with NPCs was engaging and they felt like they were talking to individual characters and not just me 15 times. I also loved to hear the feedback on the website, although obviously the jigsaw puzzle pacing was a bit off. We really hated the puzzle in this house though. The puzzle was also one of the biggest false leads during the puzzle section because the background of the table is in this church, and my players took this photo and managed to actually find this church and where it is and the history behind this random town in the Netherlands. But then it turns out this picture is just the default tabletop sim background, and I didn't even notice it when I was setting it up. Wow. I loved seeing when my players did exactly what I expected them to.
What exactly
That is
did
pretty
you
fucked
do to
up.
Paxton?
I just told. Well, I didn't do that all that much.
We both texted him, and I said, hey, Jack's on the warpath for you. And I scared him a little bit, and then Jack came in and was like, hey, I know. And then just Paxton, he broke. It was really easy. It was like 2 text messages each.
But I also loved seeing when they didn't. At some point, nice girl Emily coerces Paxton to hack the website one more time to threaten another girl to get some information. And I was so impressed with this idea that I went ahead with it, even though I didn't anticipate ever using the blog again past a certain point.
Also, wasn't Ashley going to have a big announcement today?
Yeah, I saw that. She still hasn't updated. I checked moments ago.
Yeah, I don't think she's actually going to have an announcement.
We could ask someone if they know.
Well,
So
the thing is,
There was a consensus by the players that at times there were almost too many characters to keep track of, and I agree with that. They also desired more puzzles that required every character contribute in order to solve, as well as wanting to see a campaign with a darker tone in the future, which I definitely have plans for. Overall, I think this is a really fun type of game to run. It was a really flexible format, no FaceTime is necessary to progress, and everyone can chat and collaborate on their own time to solve the mystery. There's no stat sheets or maps, it's just your character, what you know, and your own abilities. There was room for interesting character interaction, as well as the usual satisfaction of slowly unraveling a story while creating your own around it.
yeah, B and Ashley both seem real concerned with their reputation at the school. Same reason they say they don't want to hang out with any of you
To
guys.
be fair, though, there's a lot of pressure from parents.
I don't think that's really excuse. Like, we all have pressure from our parents.
I don't know if you understand how they can get.
I hope other people watch this video and get ideas for their own LARP / RPG / ARG / for their own hybrid game and do something awesome with it. Please actually make something cool and tag me in it or comment ideas for a game like this below. I am sure there's so much more talented game masters out there that can figure out how to do games like this in an increasingly more digital era, and I'm so excited to see it. Thanks so much for watching.